about this, that we don't make gods typically out of bad things. We take good things and make them into ultimate things. We take good things and make them into God's chief rivals for our hearts. And the question we get to ask is, what is God's chief rival for my heart? Probably, and your heart, probably it's not a image carved in stone or an image carved out of wood or image carved out of clay, like it's talked about in the Wisdom of Solomon today. But it is most likely something. How do you identify it? You identify it by asking, who or what is God's chief rival for my heart? Who or what is God's chief rival for my time? Because we realize that our relationship with God is the kind of relationship that does not tolerate rivals. As we know this, we know that marriages are the kind of relationship that don't tolerate rivals. That is, husband and wife are married to each other to have someone of interest, to have someone on the side, to have another person competing for one's heart. That does not amount to a healthy relationship. That does not amount to a healthy marriage. And same thing is true when it comes to our relationship with the Lord. That this relationship with God himself does not tolerate any rival. We can have other people in our lives. Of course, we can have other things that we do in our lives, but nothing that would contest, nothing that would be fighting for, nothing that would be considered to be a rival for God. So the question is this, how do you identify that? And I would say the question you can ask is there anything that if it came down to this thing or God, this thing might actually have a shot? Like this thing might win, a couple times out of 10. If that's the case, that thing might be a rival for God, for your heart. And so, so in this neck of the world, in this neck of the country, we have, sports. It's kind of a big God. When I work with a lot of junior high school students, college students, sports becomes that chief rival. So here's a family. We have a tournament this weekend, so we're not able to make it to Mass. Okay, you just identified your idol. You just identified God's chief rival for your family's eternal soul. I mean, think about that. This is remarkable to me because here, let's take hockey, for example, because some incredible hockey players are from this region. I mean, they've grown up around here. They became incredible hockey players here, and they've gone on to do incredible things. The number of them who do that, though, are so minuscule. In fact, they're so minuscule that you could never bank on that. You can never, ever bank on the idea that if we go to all these tournaments and go to all these practices, all these hockey camps, we're going to have an all-star here who's going to, reshape the face of hockey in the world. That doesn't happen. And those people that it does happen for, you ask the question, okay, is it worth it? So as an example, we had a young man here, and he came into the Catholic Church while he was a student at the university I work at. And this is an incredible thing. He played on our hockey team here, and he scored the winning goal in double overtime for the national championship. So the NCAA Division I, Frozen Four, he scores the winning goal in double overtime for the national championship. And he goes on to play pro after this and everything. I remember, the place was going nuts. And the next day, I remember calling him and saying, hey, Kyle, congratulations. This is incredible what you did. And he said, he's a humble guy. And he said, well, that was really cool that I was able to do that. It was really cool that it got to be me. Really cool that, the whole thing. And then he went on to say, he said, but nothing is going to compare with the first time I get to receive Jesus in the Eucharist when I become Catholic. And I was like, dude, you need to tell that to every single, ice mite, every mite, all the people playing all these leagues and spending all this money and skipping Mass all these Sundays just to go to hockey. And now a bunch of years later, he'll say the same thing. He'll say, yeah, that goal, it was a great moment. He says, but it's not even in my top 10. He says, my top 1 is that first time I got to receive Jesus in the Eucharist at Mass. Second is when I got to marry my wife. The third is my first child, then my second child, and go down the line. He says that goal is no longer even in the top 10. In fact, I don't know if he has any top 10 moments that are related to hockey. And yet, here we are, and we are willing to I'm not picking on hockey here. I'm just using that as an example. We're willing to let our sport, our job, our occupation, our hobbies become God's chief rivals in our lives for our hearts. And that seems to me, like the book of wisdom would say, it seems to me to be foolish. So that's the sermon for today. That's all I got to say, though. But I want to let you know that I'm praying for you, and I hope that you're praying for me. My name is Father Mike. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. God bless.